Hello guys, welcome back to another theory video. Have you ever wondered how Luffy will die? I am asking you this because, on internet, One Piece's darkest theory reveals how likely it is Luffy will die young. But before moving on to theory, please do subscribe. Most of the people just watch my videos, and don't even subscribe. I regularly upload manga news, manga spoilers, anime news and so many. So please do subscribe. And now, spanning the many arcs of One Piece over the years, protagonist Monkey D. Luffy has put himself in plenty of danger from one brutal saga to the next. In fact, it's safe to say that rubber pirate or not, Luffy is lucky to be alive. Despite the youthful vitality he exhibits, a vital question must still be asked about him: how long will Luffy live? Not only is Luffy constantly making enemies out of dangerous opponents, but he also puts his body through all manner of physically taxing experiences. Sooner or later, the things he's done to himself will almost certainly take their toll. It's all but guaranteed the hero won't be dying of old age. The One Piece ending might prove to be a bittersweet one, with Luffy becoming Pirate King just in time to have only a few years left in his weary, overused body. Will Luffy die young? That may partly depend on how much he keeps using his powerful but physically taxing gear techniques. For example, using Gear 2, the first and mildest of Luffy's gears, has definitely shortened Luffy's lifespan. The technique involved him pumping blood through his body at an accelerated rate in order to give himself a boost in speed and power. World Government agent Rob Lucci was quick to point out the issue with this technique, explaining that pumping blood through the heart and the rest of one's circulatory system like this was a good way to destroy it. Even as a rubber man, Luffy was undoubtedly creating lasting damage to himself from within. What Lucci was describing as a real-life phenomenon. When the heart becomes enlarged due to high blood pressure, it can lead to all sorts of fatal conditions like cardiomyopathy and cardiac hypertrophy, which can ultimately result in heart failure. By forcing blood through his body, Luffy was inadvertently stretching out his heart muscles and making it more difficult to pump blood normally. Will Luffy die because of this? Probably not, but Gear 2 is still working against him and stressing his body even more than physical trauma usually does. In Luffy's mind, though, such a physical cost was worth paying to defeat the powerful members of CP9 and rescue his friend Nico Robin at Enies Lobby. Gear 2's life-shortening side effect is made worse by how often Luffy relies on the technique. In occasional, short bursts, his rubber body should be able to keep up with the strain. However, the longer he fights and the more often he uses it, the more likely he is to pave the road for heart problems later in life. Another lifespan-costing experience took place while Luffy was in Impel Down. In order to save the Straw Hat Pirate from the Warden Magellan's venom, Emporio Ivankov used their devil fruit powers to alter the hormones in the boy's body to strengthen his immune system. The process was excruciating and lasted for hours, but how much is Luffy's life shortened because of this? It's estimated that this risky process took approximately 10 years off of Luffy's life expectancy, which is why Ivankov hesitated to use it. Luffy only survived the ordeal because of his indomitable will to live, plus Mr. Bon Clay's tireless emotional support. Both of these points and a few more are put forth by Quora commenter Tevin Davis. They also implied that Luffy's Gear 3 and Gear 4 techniques put a similar tax on his life, though this isn't explicitly stated in the narrative. Tevin believed that Luffy would die at a young age, like his idol Gul D. Roger. Other commenters on Quora have their own responses to this theory. One mentioned that Roger died at 53, so even if Luffy dies young, fans will still get plenty out of him. In this same vein, some believe Luffy's early death will either be saved for an end-of-series epilogue or not come up in the story at all. Some predicted that Trafalgar Law would use his Op Fruit's powers to perform the perpetual youth surgery on Luffy to save his life. One commenter even envisioned this surgery making Luffy into the immortal sun god, sailing the seas forever, always seeking new adventures and new tyrants to stop on an eternal quest to prevent another world government from ever rising again. This is loosely based on the rumor of Nika the sun god mentioned by Who's Who. If this one ended up being true, it would have to be saved for the end of the series once all of One Piece's central conflicts are resolved. Otherwise, all the tension from the story could be removed by making the protagonist immortal. Whether it happens during or after the series, Luffy's early death seems all but guaranteed. However, this shouldn't be seen as such a bad thing. Luffy has had enough adventures and experiences to last multiple lifetimes, and he's still got plenty more to go. He hasn't even found the One Piece yet. If he died having lived his life so short and sweet, he shouldn't have any regrets when he passes on. Will Luffy die young? How many years has Luffy lost? These are questions that greatly concern One Piece fans and members of Luffy's own Straw Hat crew, but tellingly, Luffy himself never asks these questions or worries about these topics. From the very beginning, Luffy has been the type to care less about how long he lives than simply how he lives and why he lives. Luffy is a practical, hands-on pirate captain who takes life as it comes, and his friends and enemies alike are repeatedly shocked by his devil-may-care attitude about his adventures and even his mortality and health. Above all, Monkey D. Luffy is a free spirit who would rather die in freedom than live in captivity or oppression. All this makes it a tense but also freeing experience to watch Luffy's adventures in One Piece. He takes dire risks with his health and safety that not even Naruto Uzumaki or Izuku Midoriya would. Luffy is a likable antihero protagonist who's not just about the power of friendship and dreams, he wants to find freedom for benignly selfish reasons. At no point did Luffy vow to become a great hero or savior, but instead, live free as the Pirate King. If Luffy must cut his lifespan in half to reach that goal, in his mind, it's a worthwhile price to pay. And, that's it for today folks, hope you like this theory. If yes, you can like the video. Bye bye. One last thing, Luffy is the man, who is king of the pirates.